Boston Celtics seem to get better every single game. The Celtics have been absolutely incredible this season. Their record of 10-3 puts them near the top of the league, and it's clear they're playing some of the best basketball in the NBA right now. Their offense has been explosive, and the numbers prove it. They're second in the league in points per game, just half a point behind the Cavaliers. That's how close they are to being the top scoring team in the entire NBA. Their dominance starts with their unbelievable shooting. They're leading the league in three-pointers made, and it's not even close. They've hit 45 more threes than the next best team. That kind of gap doesn't happen often. What's even crazier is how they've completely taken over the record books for the most threes made in a game this season. They hold the first, third, and fourth spots. The Bulls managed to grab second in one game, but the Celtics are clearly setting the standard when it comes to long-range shooting. It's not just about the volume of threes, it's also about who's making them. The Celtics have 3 players who've already made over 50 three-pointers this season: Jason Tatum, Derrick White, and Payton Pritchard. That's insane. Few teams can say they have even one player hitting at that rate, let alone 3. On top of that, they're also first in the league in the percentage of their points coming from threes. They're sitting a full 3% above the Hornets, who are in second place. Their shooting efficiency goes beyond just the three-point line. They're ranked 4th in effective field goal percentage, which takes into account how valuable threes are, and they're 2nd in true shooting percentage, which factors in free throws as well. Simply put, this team isn't just taking a lot of shots, they're making the right shots and converting them at an elite level. Speaking of free throws, they're excelling there too. They're 2nd in free throw percentage, trailing only the Kings. When this team gets to the line, they're making opponents pay, which adds another layer to their offensive firepower. But the Celtics aren't just an offensive powerhouse, they've been remarkably disciplined with the ball. They've committed the 2nd fewest turnovers in the league, which is a big reason why their offense is so efficient. And when it comes to assist to turnover ratio, they're ranked 6th. That means they're sharing the ball effectively while keeping mistakes to a minimum. It's hard to beat a team that takes care of the ball as well as they do. Defensively, they've been solid and smart. They're 8th in defensive rating, which shows they're making it tough for opponents to score. What's even more impressive is their discipline on defense. They commit the fewest fouls per game in the NBA. That's a huge deal because it means they're playing tough, physical defense without giving up easy points at the free throw line. It's a skill that doesn't always show up in highlights, but makes a massive difference in the long run. When you put all of this together, it's no surprise that the Celtics are ranked 3rd in net rating, which measures how much better they are than their opponents on a per-possession basis. Offensively, they're at the very top, sitting 1st in offensive rating, and they're doing all of this while keeping the game at a fast pace. They're ranked 3rd in total possessions, which means they're pushing the tempo and keeping opponents on their heels. This team has been incredible to watch because of how well they're executing in every area of the game. Their shooting, passing, ball control, defense, and overall strategy are all clicking at the same time. They're playing at an elite level, and they're doing it in a way that's as entertaining as it is effective. It's not just the numbers that make them special. It's the way they're dominating, whether it's raining threes, locking down defensively, or staying disciplined in high-pressure moments. The Celtics are setting the bar high this season. Watching them play has been a thrill, and it feels like they're just getting started. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during the season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, the Celtics. I want to talk about some players in specific. Let's start with the guy who's been surprising a lot of us, Payton Pritchard. Payton Pritchard has been nothing short of sensational this season. Through 13 games, he's playing at a level that's turning heads across the league. It's not just about filling a role, he's stepped up in a way that's making him one of the most impactful bench players in the NBA. His performance against the Brooklyn Nets stands out as a masterpiece. In that game, Pritchard delivered 23 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. That's the type of stat line you typically see from superstar, not from someone coming off the bench. What makes Pritchard's contributions even more impressive is how consistently he provides a spark. He's not just a safety net for the Celtics, he's a game changer. Whether it's reigniting the team when they're struggling or extending their dominance when they're rolling, Pritchard always seems to find a way to leave his mark. Look at the games against the Milwaukee Bucks. In both matchups, the Celtics started slow, but Pritchard stepped in with huge first-half performances, scoring 19 and 17 points, respectively. That kind of impact isn't just valuable, it's game-changing. His three-point shooting this season has been nothing short of lethal. Pritchard has already had 6 games where he's made 5 or more three-pointers. Think about that. For a player coming off the bench, it's unheard of to be that consistently dominant from beyond the arc. He's leading the NBA in points and three-pointers made off the bench, which tells you everything you need to know about how important he's been for Boston. Even Jayson Tatum, the Celtics' franchise cornerstone, has highlighted Pritchard's importance. A lot of times, he changes the course of a game, Tatum said. That's high praise coming from a player of Tatum's caliber, but it's completely justified. Pritchard isn't just a shooter, he's a momentum shifter. What sets Pritchard apart is how well-rounded his game has become. He's not just about scoring, although that's undoubtedly his bread and butter. He's an elite offensive rebounder for his size and position, frequently outworking bigger players to give the Celtics second-chance opportunities. On defense, he's proving to be a reliable option, holding his own against much larger opponents. If you try to post him up, you're in for a fight. He's scrappy, determined, and unwilling to back down from any challenge. Now let's talk about his scoring, because that's where he truly shines. Pritchard is averaging 16 points per game off the bench on an insane 67% true shooting. Those numbers are practically unheard of for a guard, especially one who takes as many deep shots as he does. Usually, you'd associate that kind of efficiency with big men who only take shots around the rim, not a sharpshooter who routinely pulls up from 28 feet. Of course, it's possible that his efficiency dips a little as the season goes on, but even if it does, it doesn't take away from how absurdly good he's been so far. Every time he steps on the court, he's a threat to completely change the game's dynamic, and that's a rare quality for any player, let alone a six-man. A lot of credit for Pritchard's leap this season has to go to his relentless work ethic. This is a guy who clearly puts in the hours to improve his craft, and it's paying off in a big way, but it's also worth acknowledging the role his teammates and coaches have played. The Celtics have created an environment where role players like Pritchard can thrive. Think about the dynamic on this team. There are 3 former All-Stars on the roster, and with Kristaps Porzingis returning to form and Derrick White playing at an All-Star level, that number could soon rise to 5. It would be easy for those stars to demand the ball and limit opportunities for players like Pritchard, but instead, they encourage him to be aggressive and take his shots. That kind of trust and unselfishness has been a big factor in his success. Pritchard's value to the Celtics goes beyond individual games or stats. His ability to stretch the floor and provide scoring off the bench forces opponents to constantly adjust their game plan. You can't just focus on shutting down Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, because Pritchard is always lurking, ready to make you pay. His performance against the Brooklyn Nets this season was a perfect encapsulation of what makes him so special. In that game, he became the first player in Eastern Conference history to record 23 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 5 three-pointers off the bench. That's not just a great game, it's a historic one. He's currently the betting favorite to win 6th Man of the Year, and it's easy to see why. He's 4th in the NBA in points per game off the bench, and his shooting splits are incredible. Pritchard is shooting 48% from the field, which ranks him 61st overall. For a bench player, that level of efficiency is extraordinary. What's even more exciting is that Pritchard is still improving. The Celtics stars, especially Tatum and Brown, are finding new ways to weaponize his skill set, whether it's setting him up for open threes or trusting him to run the offense in key moments. They're maximizing his impact. Pritchard's play this season has been a joy to watch. He's not just scoring, he's rebounding, defending, and making plays at an elite level. His ability to hit clutch shots, grab offensive rebounds, and hold his own defensively makes him one of the most complete 6 men in the league. At this point, it feels like the race for 6th Man of the Year is between Pritchard and Buddy Hield. Both players have been outstanding, but Pritchard's consistent excellence gives him a strong case. He's not just putting up numbers, he's helping the Celtics win games and maintain their position as one of the best teams in the league. The way Pritchard has elevated his game this season is a testament to his talent, work ethic, and the supportive culture the Celtics have built. Watching him thrive in his role has been one of the highlights of the season, and there's no doubt he's on track to accomplish even bigger things as the year goes on. Secondly, though, we have to talk about Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum is having one of the most remarkable seasons we've seen in years. The guy has been nothing short of unstoppable. His numbers are historic, his impact is undeniable, and he's setting new standards for what it means to be a superstar in the NBA. Let's break it all down, because there's so much to talk about. First, Tatum is putting up averages that are flat out ridiculous. He's scoring 30.2 points per game, grabbing 7.6 rebounds, and dishing out 5.6 assists. That's an elite stat line by any measure, but what makes it even more special is how rare it is. No player in the long and storied history of the Boston Celtics has ever averaged 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists for an entire season. Think about that. This is a franchise that's seen legends like Larry Bird, Paul Pierce, and Bill Russell, yet none of them ever accomplished what Tatum is doing right now. And it's not just Celtics history he's rewriting. He's joining some exclusive NBA company as well. Across the entire league, only one player has ever averaged 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 made three-pointers per game over a full season. That player, Steph Curry, and he only managed to do it in 2 of his MVP seasons, 2016 and 2021. Tatum is putting himself in the same conversation as one of the greatest players of all time. What really blows me away, though, is how consistent Tatum has been this season. He's leading the NBA in points scored. Nobody, and I mean nobody, has put the ball in the basket more than Tatum has so far. He's also leading the league in combined points, rebounds, and assists, showing just how complete his game is. When it comes to the Celtics, he's the top guy in all 3 major categories: points, rebounds, and assists per game. That's dominance on every level. Tatum's scoring is what grabs the headlines, and for good reason. He leads the league in 30-point games this season, a testament to his ability to deliver night in and night out. In November alone, he averaged 30.1 points per game while shooting lights out from deep, adding another layer of difficulty for defenders trying to slow him down. The consistency in his performances is something special. Let's talk about his total points scored this season. Tatum has already racked up 392 points, which is more than anyone else in the league. Giannis, as amazing as he is, comes in second with 366. Tatum has a 26-point lead on one of the most dominant players in the NBA. That's insane. Other big names like Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball aren't even close to him in this race. And Tatum isn't just scoring, he's doing it efficiently. He's shooting 46.7% from the field. While that might not seem like an eye-popping number, it's incredible considering the volume of shots he takes and the defensive attention he attracts. Teams game plan specifically to stop Tatum, and he still finds ways to score at an elite level. His 3-point shooting is another weapon in his arsenal. He's knocking down shots from deep at a ridiculous rate, averaging nearly 4 made three-pointers per game in November. That kind of shooting stretches defenses to their breaking point. Defenders are forced to make impossible choices, step out to contest his threes and risk him blowing by them for a drive, or sag off and watch him rain down shot after shot from beyond the arc. Either way, he's getting buckets. But Tatum's impact goes beyond scoring. He's been a force on the boards, pulling down 7.6 rebounds per game. That ranks him 32nd in the league, which is impressive for a forward who spends much of his time on the perimeter. Tatum's rebounding adds another dimension to his game, helping the Celtics control possessions and dominate on both ends of the floor. His playmaking has also taken a step forward. Tatum is averaging 5.6 assists per game, good for 26th in the league. That's not just good for a scorer of his caliber, it's exceptional. He's creating opportunities for his teammates and making the Celtics offense more dynamic. Whether it's finding an open shooter, threading a pass to a cutter, or setting up a big man for an easy bucket, Tatum is making the right plays over and over again. Now let's circle back to his November numbers because they're downright absurd. Tatum averaged 30.1 points, 8 rebounds, and 5.9 assists per game. Nobody else in the NBA scored more points in November than Tatum did. He was the league's most consistent offensive force, and it wasn't even close. And let's not forget the recognition he's earned. For the 3rd straight year, Tatum was named Player of the Week within the first 2 weeks of the season. That kind of consistency right out of the gate shows how prepared and locked in he is every single year. Tatum's dominance is even more impressive when you consider the talent surrounding him. The Celtics are loaded with skilled players, yet Tatum still stands out as the best on the team. He's the engine that drives their success, the player they turn to when the game is on the line. His versatility is what makes him so special. Tatum can do it all: score, rebound, pass, defend, and shoot. He's a nightmare matchup for any defender because he has no weaknesses in his game. Whether he's hitting clutch shots, grabbing key rebounds, or finding open teammates, Tatum is impacting the game in every possible way. In a league full of superstars, Jason Tatum has been shining the brightest this season. His numbers are historic, his consistency is unmatched, and his ability to lead the Celtics is second to none. It's hard to find anyone playing better basketball right now. Tatum isn't just having a great season, he's having an all-time season Every time he steps on the court, he's showing why he's one of the best players in the world. And honestly, it's been amazing to watch. We can't talk about Tatum though and not talk about Brown. Jaylen Brown is having an incredible season, and it's been a blast watching him take his game to another level. His numbers are impressive across the board. He's averaging 25.4 points per game, grabbing 7.2 rebounds, and dishing out 3.7 assists. Those are superstar stats, and they show just how much he's impacting the game for the Celtics. Let's start with his scoring. 25.4 points per game is no joke. Jaylen has become one of the league's most reliable scorers, and it's been so fun to see how he's evolved as a player. His ability to score at all three levels, inside, mid-range, and from beyond the arc, makes him a nightmare for opposing defenses. Take the other day, for example. Jaylen absolutely dominated with 37 points, shooting an incredible 14 of 22 from the field. That's efficiency at its finest. He didn't just score a lot, he did it without wasting shots, making it look almost effortless. He also grabbed 5 rebounds and came up with a steal in that game, showing that he's not just a scorer. Now, about those rebounds, 7.2 boards per game is outstanding for a wing player like Jaylen. He's been crashing the glass hard this season, helping the Celtics control possessions and limit second chance opportunities for their opponents. Rebounding might not be the flashiest stat, but it's so important, and Jaylen's been getting it done in that area. His passing has also been solid. Jaylen's averaging 3.7 assists per game, which is great for someone known primarily as a scorer. He's finding his teammates and making plays that keep the offense moving. It's clear that he's worked hard to improve his court vision, and it's paying off in a big way. One thing I really admire about Jaylen is how he's embraced being a two-way player. Scoring and rebounding are one thing, but his defense has been rock solid too. He's got the size, athleticism, and instincts to guard multiple positions, and he's not afraid to take on tough assignments. Whether it's locking down on the perimeter or contesting shots in the paint, Jaylen is bringing it on both ends of the floor. And let's talk about his shooting. He's been hitting 42.4% of his shots from the field. While it's not the highest percentage in the league, it's a solid number considering the level of difficulty in many of the shots he takes. Jaylen isn't just settling for easy looks. He's hitting contested jumpers, driving through traffic, and knocking down tough shots when the team needs him most. What's even more exciting is that Jaylen's off-court presence is growing too. He's set to appear in the second season of Starting Five on Netflix, alongside big names like Tyrese Halliburton, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I can't wait to see him in that lineup. It's a testament to how respected he is, not just as a player, but as a personality in the NBA. This season, Jaylen Brown has been a standout player, and it's not just about his stats. It's the way he steps up in big moments, the energy he brings to the court, and the leadership he shows for the Celtics. Watching him play is an experience, and I've been loving every second of it. I also want to talk about Jrue Holiday though. Jrue Holiday has been an absolute game changer for the Boston Celtics this season. After arriving in Boston, he's proven why he's one of the best two-way players in the NBA. His current stats, 12.8 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 4 assists per game, only scratch the surface of his impact. The real magic comes from everything he does beyond the numbers, and trust me, it's been incredible to watch. First off, let's talk about his defense. Jrue was named the league's best defender in an anonymous poll conducted by The Athletic earlier this year, earning an insane 28.7% of the vote from over 100 NBA players. That's not just hype, that's his peers, the very players who face him every night, acknowledging how dominant he is on the defensive end. And honestly, that defensive brilliance has fit right in with Boston's identity. On a team that already boasts elite wing defenders like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, Jrue has elevated their defense to a whole new level. He's taken on the role of locking down the opposition's best perimeter players, and he does it night after night without breaking a sweat. Whether he's guarding lightning-quick guards or stronger, more physical forwards, Jrue is always up to the challenge. He switches seamlessly, fights through screens, and forces opponents into tough shots. It's like watching a defensive clinic every game. One of the things that makes Jrue so special is his versatility. One anonymous player in the poll put it perfectly, saying, "I think it's Jrue Holiday because he can guard multiple guys. He can switch on to 1 through 5. That kind of flexibility is game-changing. It gives the Celtics so many options defensively, especially when they're going up against teams with multiple offensive threats. But Jrue's contributions go beyond defense. Offensively, he's been a steadying force for Boston. While his numbers, 12.8 points on 40, 8.4% shooting, might not jump off the page, his ability to make the right play at the right time has been crucial. Whether it's hitting a clutch shot, finding an open teammate, or simply controlling the tempo, Jrue's basketball IQ shines every time he steps on the court. What's been especially exciting is how seamlessly he's meshed with Tatum and Brown. Those two are already superstars in their own right, but Jrue's presence has allowed them to play even more freely. With Jrue running the offense and taking on the toughest defensive assignments, Tatum and Brown have been able to focus on what they do best, scoring and dominating the game. Jrue's leadership has also been huge for this Celtics team. He's a seasoned veteran with playoff experience and a championship ring, and that kind of experience is invaluable. His calm demeanor and work ethic set the tone for the entire roster. Younger players look up to him, and his presence has helped the Celtics stay focused and composed in high-pressure situations. He's already become a leader in Boston's locker room, and his chemistry with the rest of the team has been seamless. Watching him on the court this season has been a masterclass in two-way basketball. Jrue doesn't take plays off, ever. Whether he's locking down an opposing star, hitting a big shot, or making a crucial pass, he's always making an impact. His ability to excel on both ends of the floor is a big reason why the Celtics have looked like one of the most complete teams in the league this year. And let's not forget about the intangibles. Jrue is the kind of player who does all the little things that don't show up in the box score, but are essential to winning games. He dives for loose balls, makes the extra pass, and takes charges. He's the ultimate team player, and his unselfishness has been contagious. One of the things I've loved most about watching Jrue this season is how he rises to the occasion in big moments. When the Celtics need a stop or a clutch play, Jrue is always ready to deliver. He thrives under pressure, and that kind of reliability is invaluable, especially in a league where the margin for error is so small. It's also worth noting how much respect Jrue has from his peers. The fact that he was voted the league's best defender in that anonymous poll says it all. When the very players who go up against you night after night call you the best, that's the ultimate compliment. Jrue isn't just respected, he's feared. His ability to guard multiple positions has been a game changer for the Celtics. Whether he's matched up against a quick guard or a physical forward, Jrue finds a way to make an impact. That kind of versatility has given Boston a huge advantage, especially in games where matchups are crucial. Jrue's presence has also allowed the Celtics to be more creative with their defensive schemes. With him, Tatum, and Brown all capable of guarding multiple positions, the team can switch everything, double team when needed, and throw opponents completely off their rhythm. It's been amazing to watch how much Jrue has enhanced an already strong defense. Offensively, Jrue's role might not be as flashy, but it's just as important. He's the glue that holds everything together. His ability to read the game and make smart decisions has been a huge asset for Boston. Whether he's setting up his teammates or taking a shot himself, Jrue always seems to make the right play. To put it simply, Jrue Holiday is the complete package. He defends, he scores, he leads, and he wins. Watching him this season has been an absolute treat, and it's clear that he's one of the key reasons the Celtics are playing at such a high level. Boston knew they were getting a great player when they traded for Jrue, but even they might not have realized just how much of an impact he would have. He's not just a great addition to the team, he's a game changer. But besides him, it'd be wrong not to talk about Derrick White. Derrick White has been absolutely on fire this season for the Boston Celtics. With an average of 19 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 4.3 assists per game, he's been doing it all. What's even crazier is that he's helped the Celtics hit more three-pointers than some of the best teams in the league, including the Nuggets and Lakers. Yep, you read that right. Derrick White and his teammates, Payton Pritchard and Jason Tatum, have been hitting shots from beyond the arc at a ridiculous rate. Let's talk about his most recent performance. It was pure fireworks. In a recent game, he dropped 31 points, grabbed 6 rebounds, dished out 5 assists, and added a steal. But wait, it gets better. He shot 10 of 15 from the field and hit 7 of his 3-point attempts. That's his first 30-point game of the season, and it was nothing short of spectacular. It's clear that Derrick has been putting in work this season and taking full advantage of his opportunity. One thing that's been noticeable about White's game this year is his growth in scoring. He's always been a solid defender, but now he's finding ways to be a consistent offensive weapon. Whether it's attacking the rim, knocking down threes, or making plays for his teammates, he's doing it all. His ability to space the floor and keep defenses on their toes has been huge for the Celtics. They can always count on him to make an impact, especially when the game is on the line. White's offensive game has really evolved. He's shooting 47.5% from the field, which is impressive for a player who's been so aggressive in creating his own shots. He's not just standing behind the arc and waiting for an open look. He's been the one setting the pace and making plays. And when he's on fire from deep, watch out. When he hits 7 3-pointers in a game like he did recently, it's impossible to ignore how much of a threat he is. Defensively, Derrick hasn't skipped a beat. He's always been one of those players who gives maximum effort on that end of the floor. And this season, he's been locking down opposing guards and wings like it's his job. The Celtics thrive off their defense, and Derrick White is a huge reason for that. He's versatile, quick on his feet, and has a great basketball IQ, which allows him to make disruptive plays that spark fast break. What's also been impressive about White is his consistency. While some players can go hot and cold throughout the season, Derrick has managed to keep his performance at a high level. He's averaging almost 20 points per game, which is a huge leap from previous seasons. That's a testament to the work he's put in and the confidence he's gained from the coaching staff and his teammates. He's been so consistent, in fact, that it's no surprise to see him putting up big numbers every now and then, like that 31-point game we just talked about. He's ready to deliver when his team needs him the most. Another thing that's been great to see is his ability to fit in seamlessly with the Celtics' overall style of play. With Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown leading the way, Derrick's ability to play off of them and make smart decisions has been huge. He knows when to step up and take over, and when to defer to his superstar teammates. That kind of self-awareness on the court is something that not every player has, but Derrick certainly does. He's been a perfect complement to the rest of the roster. What's even more exciting is that he's continued to improve his shooting from beyond the arc. Derrick has always been known for his defense and playmaking, but now he's also a legit three-point threat. That's what makes him so dangerous. He's not just a guy who can lock down an opposing guard, he's also someone who can stretch the floor and punish defenses that leave him open. The Celtics have been rolling, and a lot of that has to do with how well Derrick has been playing, both offensively and defensively. When you look at the numbers, Derrick White's season is shaping up to be one of his best yet. His shooting efficiency, scoring, and defensive contributions are all trending upward. He's become one of the most complete players on the Celtics, and his growth as an offensive player is a big reason for the team's success. He's proven he can be a go-to guy when the team needs a bucket, but he's also been a key part of their overall success in terms of spacing, defense, and leadership. It's also worth noting the impact Derrick's had on the team's culture. He's been a calming presence, especially with the Celtics navigating through some tough matchups and high expectations. His work ethic, professionalism, and willingness to do whatever it takes for the team have made him a favorite in the locker room. He doesn't take plays off, and that kind of attitude is contagious. His teammates look to him for leadership on both ends of the floor, and he's never shied away from stepping up when it matters most. As the season continues, there's no doubt that Derrick White will remain one of the Celtics' most important players. He brings a level of consistency, energy, and versatility that the team thrives on. Whether he's locking down a key opposing player, hitting a big shot, or dishing out an assist, Derrick White is always making an impact. The Celtics have been on a roll, and Derrick has been right in the middle of it all, helping to lead them to success. One of the most exciting things to watch this season is how Derrick continues to raise his level of play. There's still so much room for growth, and that's scary for the rest of the league. With his ability to shoot, defend, and create plays for his teammates, Derrick White has firmly established himself as one of the most valuable players on the Celtics. If he keeps playing at this high level, there's no telling how far the Celtics can go. Overall, though, the Celtics are looking like they could very well repeat as champions this season. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are playing at an elite level, and they've been dominating on both ends of the court. Tatum's scoring and leadership continue to elevate the team, while Brown's all-around game makes him one of the toughest players to guard in the league. But it doesn't stop there. Derrick White and Payton Pritchard have been absolutely amazing. White's been locking down defenders, scoring efficiently, and contributing in every area, while Pritchard's shooting and energy off the bench have been huge for their success. The best part, Kristaps Porzingis hasn't even returned yet. Imagine how much more dangerous they'll be when he's fully back in the mix. His presence in the paint and ability to stretch the floor will give them even more firepower. With their depth, elite players, and all-around talent, the Celtics are poised to make another deep playoff run. If they continue to play like this, they've got a real shot at bringing home another championship. They've got the talent, the chemistry, and the drive. It's going to be exciting to watch how far they can go this season. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during the season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.